As usual here at GPFans, it's a Friday of a racing weekend, so we've got a bit of news and some free practice to get into. Well, there's a lot of news, so bear with us because this could be a bit of a big one, because we're talking all about Red Bull and Mercedes once more, as there's no more punishment for Max Verstappen according to the FIA after that incident in Brazil almost a week ago. There's a countersuit coming from Red Bull though for Mercedes, as Red Bull want to have a closer look at those rear wings on the back of Lewis Hamilton's car. And there is some free practice to also get into as well. So let's dive into all of the news this Friday. But before we do, just hit the subscribe button down below to stay up to date with everything we do here at GPFans. But now it's time for the headlines and free practice. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner feels the FIA avoided a Pandora's box scenario following the decision of the stewards in the Brazilian Grand Prix clash between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. After a 4-hour session across 2 periods on Thursday, the stewards finally delivered their verdict to deny Mercedes a review of the lap 48 incident from Interlagos, where both title protagonists were ran off the track. Horner described the outcome as obviously the right decision. He added, it would open Pandora's box regarding a whole bunch of other incidents that happened in that race. I think the most important thing to do now is to focus on this race, the Qatar Grand Prix. Sitting alongside him in the FIA press conference as the decision was announced, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff said the verdict was completely expected. Wolff explained the petition was more aimed at establishing the rules of engagement ahead of the final 3 races of the hotly contested season. We wanted to trigger a discussion around it because probably it will be a theme in the next few races, and I think that objective is achieved. We didn't really think it would go any further. It's interesting as McLaren team principal Andreas Seidel has also weighed in on the outcome of the Mercedes right to review hearing, warning that the decision will change the approach of drivers. In Austria, for instance, Lando Norris was penalised for forcing another driver off the track, which led to him receiving a 5-second penalty, and with 2 penalty points added to his licence, leaving Seidel a keen spectator ahead of the FIA's latest ruling. Looking at the case and compared with Lando's case, we definitely have some questions, said Seidel. Lando got a penalty in Austria for something which, from our point of view, was debatable. I think you can definitely argue with what happened when it was Lando's corner, different to what we have seen in Brazil. I think whatever the outcome is, it will definitely change the approach of the drivers to certain manoeuvres on track. That is why it is interesting to clarify what is legal going forward. Horner for Red Bull is now looking to put the pressure on Mercedes, as he warned the constructor of an impending protest over the legality of their rear wings after finding witness score marks in Brazil last week. Red Bull have grown concerned over the Mercedes component, with fears ramping up during the Sao Paulo Grand Prix weekend as Chief Technical Officer Adrian Newey and Chief Engineer Paul Monahan began talks with the FIA over the legality of the rear wing. Mercedes straight-line speeds have improved massively since that Turkish Grand Prix, with the advantage held in Brazil raising its rivals' eyebrows significantly given the vast difference in maximum velocity during qualifying. Max Verstappen was seen inspecting the rear wing of Lewis Hamilton's car after qualifying, landing himself, of course, that hefty fine after a breach of FIA Parc Fermé protocols. It seems, however, the Dutchman and his team have found evidence to suggest the wing flexes in such a way to reduce the effect of drag when under load at maximum velocity, although I don't necessarily think that Verstappen could tell that with his view of the car that he got nice and close up under those Parc Fermé regulations. Asked if he would protest the wing should the team believe the W12 was non-compliant, Christian Horner replied, "Yeah, absolutely. If we believe the car is not in compliance, we will protest because the straight line speeds we could see in Mexico and Brazil, I think everybody could see in Brazil it was not a normal situation." Yes, a new engine for Mercedes comes with an increase in performance, he continued, but when you have a 27 km/h closing speed and you see witness marks on rear wing end plates that have been marking up front wings that have been flexing, it is very clear to us what has been going on. Of course, that is why I refer that it is down to the FIA to make sure the cars are in compliance, but if we feel they are not, you protest if you believe a competitor isn't complying with the rules. in response in that press conference, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff categorically denied that there was any non-conformity in the team's rear wing, but conceded he understood that protests would be triggered if Red Bull was sceptical. "I think I've always said that that is how you fight," said Wolff. "You try to avoid that a competitor has an advantage. If you are led by skepticism because someone told you something and you suspect that to be the root cause, you go for it. I think that nobody would show up at the track with an illegal engine or an illegal rear wing. The world is too transparent for that, and you would be mad if you take decisions in the team with such a high visibility that are illegal, 100%. Well, we did say that the politics was going to continue after Brazil. Just how long these two continue to scrap off the track with the litigation and legitimacy of the cars, well, we'll see how long that goes for. Actually, on track in Friday practice in Qatar, because we did have some action on track, it was Red Bull setting the pace in FP1, with Max Verstappen setting the fastest time of the session with a 1 minute 23.723 second lap, as F1 visited the Losail circuit for its first ever time. His title rival Lewis Hamilton was 0.786 seconds adrift in fourth, and shared on the team radio his power worries, stating, "I feel massively down on power," to his team during the session. Pierre Gasly went second fastest ahead of Valtteri Bottas in third. Yuki Tsunoda stuck his AlphaTauri as fifth fastest, with the Ferraris of Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc sixth and seventh. Sergio Perez was eighth, Esteban Ocon was ninth, and Lando Norris was 10th fastest in the session. FP2 under the lights, in conditions that we're going to see in qualifying and race day, saw a Mercedes sat atop the timing charts, but perhaps not the one you're expecting. Or maybe we should be, because Valtteri Bottas continued his strong drives of the last few races, going fastest in FP2, with Pierre Gasly 0.209 seconds behind him in the AlphaTauri on a very strong Friday for the young driver. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton took third and fourth behind those two, with the Dutch driver 0.350 seconds off the lead car. Lance Stroll shook off the troubles of his Aston Martin in FP1 to go sixth behind Lando Norris, who was fifth. Sergio Perez, Sebastian Vettel and Carlos Sainz wrapped up the top 10. So the war of words is going to continue between Red Bull and Mercedes off the track, but we're focusing on the track. What did you make of our first look at F1 cars on the Losail circuit in Qatar? Those gravel traps look really nasty, big chunky pebbles on there. You do not want to get caught out in any of those at all, nor do you want any of that scattered across the track. And of course those AstroTurf strips as well on the corners, so sandy and potentially a big pitfall waiting for somebody on a hot lap in qualifying. Let us know your thoughts to all of the news in the comments section down below, and stay up to date with everything we do here at GPFans by hitting that subscribe button as we go through these final few dramatic races to finish the season.